Yeah, the executive order itself, and again, I signed various copies of it, in fact. This is something, and it's important why you've got all the entities here as well, because the University of Wisconsin system, immediately upon hearing about some of these other stories, started looking at, as was mentioned, the Board of Regents has been supportive of this as well, but looking at all the policies and procedures done within the university system to make sure that everything's being done to the fullest extent possible to prevent something like this from happening. What this does is within, as I mentioned, in other areas in law enforcement, in our public school system, our school systems in general, K through 12, there's a requirement, a mandatory requirement for reporting. What this does in the executive order is says essentially that as well, and it includes, you see up in the past, in fact, I'll reference the statute, it talks about currently required to report instances of child abuse or neglect include health practitioners, social workers, law enforcement officers, child care providers, counselors, school teachers, and school staff members. Now, under current law, without this executive order, that does not necessarily apply to most of the college or university professors, administration, coaches, or other staff out there. In this case, through the power that's vested in me through the statutes, and this is why we appreciate the Attorney General being here, both because of his ongoing leadership on this issue in general, but also because the Department of Justice, our legal counsel, and the legal counsel for the university system all believe that the statutes give us this authority to make this essentially apply to all of our University of Wisconsin system employees. And the basic premise is if there's a sign of neglect or abuse, or there's direct evidence, but even if a University of Wisconsin system employee anywhere in any of our campuses believe there's evidence of this, they're now required. It's not just an option. It's a requirement under this executive order that they have to report that. And that's, unfortunately, what we saw in other campuses in other states was there was not that mandatory requirement. And so that's where the gap was. Now, again, thankfully, we don't have any evidence or any suggestion of evidence that anything like that has occurred or would occur here in the state of Wisconsin. We just, as each of the speakers mentioned, want to make sure that we're taking every step possible to protect the children of the state. And as part of that, it also makes a clear path for those good public servants who work either full-time or part-time within our University of Wisconsin system, that they know exactly what the requirement is, and now it's a mandatory requirement.
But is that requirement